Hi, I'm EXO, and I'm on a journey to becoming a DIY guru. We all know that having your own compost is not only a great way to recycle garden waste, but it's also good for your plants. And even though it does take time to mature, the benefits are huge, and your plants will thank you once you've laid down a fresh load of compost. So today, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make a compost bin. To make a bin like this, take my cutting list to your local builders and make use of the in-store cutting service. Then all you need to do is to assemble it. You'll also need some weed guard. The tools you'll need are a drill driver with a nut setter, a speed pilot, and a Phillips bit. Some 5.5 by 60mm Tex screws, a few 5 by 16mm and 6mm wood screws, as well as some washers, a barrel latch, 2 T-hinges, a pair of scissors, and a pencil. So in summary, we're building an 800 by 800mm box with an easy access lid. And it's important that you use CCA treated timber for this so you don't end up composting your actual bin. So I'm going to start by building 2 side panels. To build the first panel, we're going to place 2 of the 38 by 38mm pieces next to each other on either side, and then use one of the 38 by 114mm pieces to find the right spacing for the top and for the bottom, making sure it lines up with the corners. I can then attach these to the inner 38 by 38mm piece using the Tex screws. The outer one is simply there for the spacing. We're going to need 7 pieces of timber on either side. I'm just going to line them up in position and then fasten them into place, one on the left, one on the right. Tex screws are actually designed for steel, but they work just as well in timber. And there's no need to drill a pilot hole as they cut their own hole as you screw it in. The first panel is done. We're going to do the exact same thing for the second one. Now that we've made our 2 panels, I'm just going to stand them up and use one of the 38 by 114 pieces to form a butted joint to get the spacing right between the panels at the front and at the back, and then fasten them onto the 38 by 38, working my way up on one side. Just make sure that your screws are offset so they don't hit each other. Now I'm not going to attach the top strip yet. We'll do that later with the weed guard. Now when I was assembling this, I did attach this timber just to hold everything together. So I need to remove it because in the 4th panel, these 2 bottom pieces will be a door. The door allows me to access the lower layers of compost with a spade while the top is maturing. So they need to be attached to each other. It's really easy. I'll use the 38 by 38 offcuts as a brace and screw these together before placing the door into place. I'm resting the door on 2 of the Tex screws so it's raised slightly. This will avoid the door dragging on the ground. I can then mark and drill the pilot hole for the hinges and attach them using wood screws. I'm not using the supply screws on the hinges as I prefer a wood screw that has a coarse thread. I can then attach the barrel bolt to hold the door closed. I'm using 6mm wood screws. Now we just need to attach the rest of the 4 pieces of the 38 by 114s. Just ensure there's a small gap between the door and the first piece so that the door can swing without touching it. I'm using 2 Tex screws as bases. And again, we're not going to attach the top one. Time to make the lid that will cover the compost bin, and I'm using weed guard for this. I'm going to roll the last strip of timber a few times and secure the weed guard using some washers and screws. The washers will help prevent the screw heads from pulling through the fabric. Trim off the edges so it slots into the frame, and I can then attach this into the place where we left one strip off earlier. Unroll the weed guard, leaving a bit of an overhang, and cut it. On the front edge, I'll attach a length of 38 by 38 to the top, and then I can roll the last length of 38 by 38 before fastening the weed guard to that and trimming the edges. Job done! Now all that's left is to get this in the garden, fill it up with garden refuse, and start our composting process. Now compost does take time to mature, but be patient and you will be rewarded. Now remember, everything I've used today is available at Builders, in-store, or online at builders.co.za. And for more videos like this, check out the blog on the website. Get to Builders, get it done.